Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is why men go broke, part 1. So I'm going to have a couple of different reasons here. So this is part 1. So the first thing I wanted to say about why men go broke is the word broke itself. And it's very important that you never use the word poor. You never say I'm poor. Because the poor is it's called, we call it that, people who are always at a disadvantage. The poor. You don't want to lump yourself mentally into that category. What you're facing, you have you're temporarily financially out of balance, and that is broke. So being broke is okay, because life will throw you some curves. You'll make mistakes. Circumstances will be such that it makes you go broke. But when you're just temporarily broke, you can overcome that. Okay? You can overcome it. The evidence would show that if you think of yourself as poor, trying to overcome that is extremely, extremely difficult. And so your mindset on your finances, just like every other thing in your life, is critical. So think of it as not poor. I'm not poor. I am temporarily broke. Okay, let's get so that's out of the way. So what is the first reason that men go broke, or are temporarily broke, or are broke at the time? It's your income. Your income isn't large enough to overcome all the normal standard expenses that you face, right? There's no way a small income can overcome all the normal bills. You can't overcome those bills with frugality, cheapness, and extreme frugality. Frugality is good, but that only works if your income is large enough to make a difference, right? If your income, you have to keep working to increase that over time to get up to an acceptable level that provides you a decent life. And I'll talk about the numbers in a moment here. But if you're making a minimum wage as an adult man, after you've out of your schooling or out of your training, you're not going to be able to have a good life, because it's not enough money. The minimum wage, that's good for a younger man, younger women. That's good in a part-time situation. That's good. That helps you, right? But you want to think in terms of whatever the minimum wage is where you're at. Double it. If you can double it, then you have a chance of being able to have a little bit of a decent life, right? Now let's just go back. When is the minimum wage handy? Well, if you're a young person, a young man in high school, the minimum wage is a lot better than zero, right? If you're in college and a minimum wage is a lot better than zero. So, your part-time jobs, your temporary situations, even if you're retired and you have Social Security and pensions and living off of other things, you could think of a minimum wage wouldn't be the worst for a part-time retiree to supplement your other things, right? So there's a place for the minimum wage. There's definitely a place, but I'm just talking about assuming you're out of high school, out of college, out of tech school, out of the military, and you're working at a normal 40-hour-a-week job, you would be thinking in terms of that job ought to pay me more, double what the minimum wage is at a minimum. And then if you have that, and it has a few quality of life benefits, well, then you're on to something, right? Then you're on to this job is okay for now. It's going to provide me enough to kind of live on and pay my bills, keep them modest bills, and have a little bit of fun. So that's, and then from there you want to think about building, right? So your entry, and you'll find this, that your entry level jobs are usually going to be about double the minimum wage. You know, it's a rule of thumb that's there, and your entry level jobs, and then your entry level jobs are just that, they're entry. So you can't expect to have an entry level job and make a bundle of money, right? Unless you have a degree or a background in something that naturally pays higher. So look for that, and then once you have that job and you're doing it and you've been there a while, 6 months or a year, you're going to expect that your income should start to climb. And of course, if it doesn't climb, you know, if you're stuck, if where you're working doesn't provide that climbing wage, well, then you're going to have to find something else, because you've got to think in terms of getting that income up and over that double minimum wage as fast as you can. You know, as fast as you can. You got to keep making dollars an hour more than that double the minimum wage, because you want to get up to the happiness income level, which is about double the double. So if the minimum wage is $8 an hour, double is 16, you want to double the 16 and get up to 32. Once you're up there, that's going to provide you you're up around the happier income level at that point. So that income, large enough income is crucial to your happiness. And this is all assuming that you're working for somebody else, not yourself. If you're working for yourself, all the numbers are skewed somewhat, because you'll need to make more than that working for yourself to overcome the health insurance contribution your employer puts in and some of the quality of life benefits your employer puts in. So if you're working for yourself, that double minimum wage is not nearly enough. It's not nearly enough. These numbers are for when you work for somebody else and they're providing you health insurance. They're going to take money out, but there's a health insurance component to your benefit. They're providing you paid time off that you can use to enjoy your life. They're providing other things, different types of insurance or different types of benefits that you know are quality of life benefit. So I would give that idea for why men go broke some serious thought. You're just not making enough money. All for now.